Well, hello there. I didn't see you come in. Make yourself at home. Have a drink. While I give some attention to some underappreciated characters and storylines that I personally love. And I hope you grow to love as well.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Matt's Minis. Today we're doing Swamp Thing number 42, and this is the wrap-up of last week's storyline. So if you don't remember, last week there was a soap opera being filmed in a old slave plantation in Louisiana, and that evilness that was left over from the slave days is corrupting the cast of the current show, which is about the old slave days. So the character or the actors who are pretending to be the slave master and the slave and the mistress and all this stuff are actually turning into those, or they're getting like possessed by the spirits of those memories or people. And some craziness is going on. So first things first, we got the cover right here. We see Swamp Thing. He's on fire. He is running through a bunch of zombies or dead corpses, and looks like someone is doing some kind of maybe black magic or something as like a hand bursts through the grave. So pretty cool cover, memorable for sure. I don't think I've seen this one in the wild, so that's kind of interesting. We start off, and the first page, we see there's someone who is stuck in a box in the ground. They're saying how like they can't sleep. They've tried, it's impossible. Like, you know, they just can't get comfortable. They just keep saying, "I tried, but it was no good. Couldn't sleep." And he describes how it is living and seeing like the growth of fungus and cobwebs and my jaw falling off and all this stuff. It's creepy. And then we see the graveyard that it was the old slave graveyard, I guess, of this house, and all of the bodies are now rising from the grave. So all the skeletons and everything are coming up, and so the voodoo and evil juju or whatever that's been going on by the townsfolk that have been possessed, like that are, I researched a little bit. It is for sure that the townsfolk are just possessed by like whatever malevolence is here, and so they are kind of being taken over as well to perform these ceremonies to raise the dead, and then reenact kind of everything going on. So then Swamp Thing and Abby are there, and they're like, "What the hell is going on?" Like all of these people work in town, but they're like killing chickens and doing voodoo and stuff. And it's very like, I didn't think that was part of everybody that worked in town's customs kind of thing. And she sees the woman who is the lunch lady, I guess, at Elysium Lawns, where she works. I guess her name's Alice, the lunch lady. And so she sees her and she's like, "Alice, what's going on? Like, how come everybody's freaking out and like doing this ceremony and stuff?" And Alice is just like, "Oh, I didn't put enough salt out fast enough." Like, she's trying to put salt out, I guess, to keep the evil spirits out or something. I'm not 100% if she's possessed or not. She just says she seems like she is possessed, but she's saying she was going to put salt out to keep the evil out or whatever. And so to make sure they stay buried kind of thing. But as she says, "Oh, it's too late," and she sees a group of zombies walking towards them. And then as they approach, we cut to the basement, where, if you remember last issue, we left off with Wesley was going to skin his slave alive, his slave named William. And these are the actors. So the actors are possessed by what actually happened back in the day. And apparently this actually happened in this house, and they're just reenacting it. So Wesley has a knife. This is the actor, of course. I think his name's Richard. And he has already, according to where we start here, flayed the man, William, whose name is Billy, I think, in the as an actor, in front of the mistress and all the rest of the slaves that he has that are possessed people as well. And so he's like, "Charlotte, please compose yourself. we will go upstairs and you will be a good wife and a good hostess to the people coming for dinner. And yeah, he's just like, not phased at all, as you would, I guess, imagine a slave master would. And she's freaking out. She's like, oh my God, is he still alive? And he's like, good, maybe he'll tell the other slaves like that's, not to consort with my wife or whatever. And so then Abby's like, hey, I'm going to go get the people inside and we got to get out of here. And so she goes in the house, comes down the basement stairs because she hears something, and then sees the actors and is like, hey, Richard and Billy, you guys got to come up here. And they're like, who are these people you're talking to? We are the owners of this plantation. And like, he's all crazy out and everything. And so basically she's trying to convince them, oh, this is all a dream. You're all like actors who are being possessed by this house and everything. She gets told, Abby gets told that Billy was skinned in the basement with this knife, and then she's like, it's not real, you guys have to break out of this thing. And he's like, not real, here's real for you. And he like stabs her with the knife, and she seems like she gets stabbed pretty good. She falls down, and then they go out front, and the slave master is like, what are these slaves doing kicking up like loud noise and hollering outside all night? I'll teach them or whatever. And so as he goes outside, we cut back to Swamp Thing, and we see Swamp Thing and Alice are standing there as the dead approach, and Alice even recognizes one of them as her father. And she's like, oh my God, Daddy. And like, I guess he died when she was a child, and then they didn't have money to bury him in a cemetery, so they just buried him in the old slave plot. And because of that, he has not been able to get peace or rot or anything. He pretty much looks like kind of like the normal, not normal, but he looks fairly like he did the day that he died. Like he's not all skeleton and whatnot. So he looks fairly normal, and she starts crying, and she kind of like hugs him and stuff and goes to walk with him. And then Swamp Thing's like, okay. And then we cut back to the house where we left a stabbed Abby Arcane. And Abby's like, wait a second, this isn't real. Because it seems like she was maybe possessed with everything going on too. Because she like went along with this, and then she realizes, wait, this isn't real. It doesn't hurt. There was blood all over the wall and on her pants. And then all of a sudden we look down and she's not covered in blood, and there's no blood anywhere. So she's like, wait, I don't feel wet. I'm not bleeding. And then she looks at the knife, and it's one of those like TV knives where you stab and it like just goes into someone, like it cuts into itself or whatever. So then, so she's aware now, oh, this is all fake or whatever. And she approaches the woman who's like possessed as the mistress or the wife of the slave owner. And, I don't remember what her name was as the actor. I think it was Angela or something like that, but she keeps calling her Miss Lamb. So Abby's like, Miss Lamb, which I guess is Angela's last name. She's like, look, there's no way. This is all fake. Look, this is a knife, but it's not really a knife. And if we go down to the cellar, I'm sure William will not be skinned. And don't worry about it, kind of thing. And then we cut to the outside as Wesley, the slave owner, comes outside, and he's like, I thought I told you people I will not have this devil worship in Wybert land. And like, so he starts freaking out. He's got a shotgun. I don't think it's a real gun. I think all of this is being played out like it once had. And then like he sees people walking that are like dead and stuff. And he's like, I will not have this happen like it happened before. And he's like, happened before. And then he's like, for a second, he kind of wakes up as the actor Richard, and he's like, wait a second. And then it snaps back in, because basically, I guess what happened after he flayed Billy, maybe, or flayed William in the slave times in the 1800s, the slave owner maybe came outside to see this fire burning and stuff, and then shot a slave, and then they all attacked him and murdered him. So they beat him to death. And so now Richard's kind of waking up, but he's Wesley, the memory of the slave owner's fighting with him, and he's like, Wesley's like, what? Oh God, where am I? And the zombies begin to talk to him and explain to him that You are in a place of pain, Wesley Jackson. Um, we are all back in the place of pain because the pain cannot be buried and forgotten. The pain cannot remain in the past or hidden beneath the soil. That which is buried is not gone. That which is planted will grow. There is a weed that thrives upon neglect and flourishes in darkness. Untended, it becomes a tree of night. It is in its boughs, and its boughs sag beneath the unbearable weight of what has brought forth. And now they're talking to Wesley, the slave master. I believe this is Richard now, and he's like, what do you want with me? And then they're like, we want our freedom. And right when they say that, it snaps back into the slave owner and Wesley, and he's like, This is my land. You will this is the way my family has worked for my life. You can go to hell. And so then Swamp Thing's like, whoa, everybody, we gotta calm down. We gotta break this cycle. Like, if you all calm down and he calms down and we all snap out of this, hopefully we'll be able to figure out a way to. And as he like says that, Wesley's like, you go back to whatever heathen inferno spawned, you creature. And he like shoots Swamp Thing with a shotgun. Once again, I don't know if this is a real shotgun because it seems like he did. I mean, where would he get a gun on this land if he's just the actor or whatever? And so, but I mean, I think it's like a spectral shotgun or whatever. He shoots Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing falls into the fires. And usually, when Swamp Thing's on fire, he's freaked out or whatever. But this Swamp Thing, he's a new Swamp Thing. He doesn't kind of give a fuck about fire. He falls backwards. He does light on fire, and then he just starts to get up. And the slave master Wesley starts shooting all the zombies, and the zombies say, "It begins again," and they start going after Wesley to beat him to death. And then Swamp Thing yells, "No! I will not allow this evil to continue." And so he gets up, his burning, crackling body, and he runs into the house as Wesley's yelling, "No, not my house. You can't." And it says, it's like, if the bad tree is to be destroyed, you must not bury its fruit. You must burn out the roots. And so, it says, the fire consumes me. He vaguely recollects the fear he should feel, like from another man. And that's the Holland memory of Alec Holland burning alive. He's like, Alec Holland died like this, but, I'm not scared of it. His body dies, lights the house on fire. It burns down. He then goes into the green and goes to grow himself back somewhere else. And Abby comes to the smoldering ruins of the house at the end of all it, where we see a skull. So Richard, having been possessed by Wesley, ran into the house while it was burning down. He died. And so then we see Swamp Thing grow back next to his bones. And then they kind of like, what happened? And then basically everybody is kind of coming out of shock now that it's morning. Like, the possession is kind of over. And they're like, whoa, that was crazy. And we should totally get out of here before people see a giant swamp monster talking to me and realize they're not hallucinating. So they get out of there. Then we cut to Angie, who is now kind of aware of what's going on. She's saying, Billy, it's okay. You're with me. And Billy still, they still kind of are snapping back and forth into like the slave time and what happened. And so Billy, or Angie's talking, and she goes, Billy, my love, you're all right. It's me. It's Angie. He's like, huh? And she's like, Billy, I don't know what happened to us. I don't know what's going on inside your mind, but, and then it cuts to his face, and we see he looks like he's been flayed. So like his face has been kind of cut off, and then like his body is also cut off, and then basically she's awake, but they keep like snapping in and out of like maybe what really happened. I'm not sure, or what like could have happened if they were actually possessed. They get like closure, like if they were actually the two people that were the mistress or the wife of the slave owner and the slave. Then we cut to Swamp Thing, who is like talking to Abby, and he's like, "Did all the zombies go away? Like, did the creatures all get destroyed in the fire? And she's like, yeah, I think so. They must have been destroyed because, where else would they have gone? Then we cut to a while down the road, and we see the TV crew is talking to the police, and they're like, yeah, someone stole our van, and they crashed it. What the heck? And so it turns out some zombies didn't die in the fire, and they drove a van, which they'd never driven before, and then crashed it, and then they got out to go live lives. And I'm assuming these are the zombies maybe that could pass, because one of the zombies goes up to a ticket booth of like a movie theater, and he is like, hey, I want a job. Do you mind if I sit in that box and like just give tickets? And the guy's like, yeah, you can do that. And he's like, it's pretty cramped in here. And the guy's like, it'll be fine. I'm used to cramped boxes. And then we see the movies that are playing are like Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and like Orgy of the Living Dead is one of them, but it kind of looks like Return of the Living Dead as far as the poster goes. So it's kind of like I don't know if it's like a normal theater or some theater that just plays like horror movies or something, but or exploitation movies maybe, because you see also there's like Ilsa and some other one of the blood sucking liver eaters or something like that. So yeah, it seems like a underground theater or something. And the guy's like, are you sure you don't want to be in there? Like, it kind of sucks, and I got to go away for like 12 hours, so you're not really going to get bathroom breaks and stuff. And the guy's like, no worries, I'll be here all week. Then we see the guy who's inside, who's now sitting in there attending the ticket booth, is the dad of Alice, the woman who worked at Elysium Lawn. So yeah, I guess he got a job, and he's down to just chill in his box and work at a movie theater. So, and that's where we're going to leave this one. If you guys got any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can email me at planes, trains, and comic books, all one word, at gmail.com. And until next time, stay swampy.